every single way you can to perpetuate yourselves in power. And this here is going to be absolutely tragic. And I'm telling you, the first time an illegal alien or somebody in the country illegally does something negative to a citizen, I have a feeling things are going to erupt in a major way. Now, the fact of the matter is this: there are tens and tens of thousands of people who come to this country every year that raise their right hand and take the oath to become a citizen, and they do it the right way. This is how you should do it. You should go through the system, assimilate, become a part of American society, learn the language. Okay.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Meyer said people were pouring out of the location screaming when others arrived at around 10:30 p.m. Saturday. He said officers then went into the ballroom and found victims as firefighters treated the wounded. Meyer gave no description of the male suspect or the weapon he used, or why police gave no information on the shooting for hours while the shooter apparently remained on the run. He also said police were investigating another incident in the nearby city of Alhambra, where a similar business, the Lili Ballroom, had police tape across its front door and an officer guarding it. Detectives could be seen working near the open back door, where a woman wearing gloves was carefully examining the door handle as though checking for prints. Officials gave no details on what had happened, and it was unclear if this was the incident investigators were examining to see if there was a connection to the Monterey Park shooting. Myers said it's too early in the investigation to know if the gunman knew anyone at the ballroom or whether it was a hate crime. Next news. Hundreds of people gathered on the front lawn of Graceland on a gray, chilly Sunday morning in Memphis to mourn the death and remember the life of Lisa Marie Presley, who died earlier this month. Some mourners held flowers as they waited for the service to begin under the tall trees on the lawn of Graceland, the home where Lisa Marie lived as a child with her father, Elvis Presley. The mansion, which Lisa Marie Presley owned, has been turned into a museum and tourist attraction that hundreds of thousands of fans visit each year to celebrate the life and music of Elvis, who died in 1977. The property in South Memphis was a place of sadness and somber memories on Sunday. Presley, a 54-year-old singer-songwriter dedicated to her father's legacy, died January 12th. Hours after being hospitalized for a medical emergency. The service began with the singing of Amazing Grace by Jason Clark and the Tennessee Mass Choir. In quotes, "We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for the love, compassion, and support you have shown our family during this difficult time," said a message from the Presley family written on the program for the service. "We will always be grateful." Among those expected to speak or sing during the service were Lisa Marie Presley's mother, actress Priscilla Presley, her daughter, actress Riley Keough, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, and singers Billy Corgan, Alanis Morissette, and Axl Rose. After the service, mourners will make a procession through Graceland's meditation garden, where she's being laid to rest. Next news. When gunshots at two electrical substations cut power to thousands of central North Carolina homes for several days in early December, Republican State Representative Ben Moss watched his vibrant district full of family farms, small businesses, and sprawling golf courses become a ghost town. After the latest attack last week on a substation in Randolph County, northeast of Charlotte, Moss is urging fellow lawmakers to prioritize new legislation that would secure the state's critical infrastructure when the legislative session begins in earnest this week. He's among the first state legislators to propose power grid protections this year amid a surge in attacks on U.S. substations, primarily in the Carolinas and Pacific Northwest. The recent attacks in Moore County, North Carolina, and others in Washington, Oregon, South Carolina, and Nevada have underscored the vulnerability of the nation's far-flung electrical grid, which security experts have long warned could be a target for domestic extremists. Lawmakers in at least two affected states, North Carolina and South Carolina, have begun proposing remedies. In quotes, "I don't want to see anybody else go through that, Moore County," said Moss, a 2024 candidate for state labor commissioner whose district saw a peak of more than 45,000 customers lose power. In quotes, "When the power goes out, you don't have heat, don't have food, can't get fuel or some medications. People are unsafe." Unquote. Morse is drafting legislation obtaining in its preliminary form by the Associated Press that would require utilities to provide 24-hour security at substations which transform high-voltage electricity into the lower voltages that power communities. Security provisions would vary across sites, some of which are already gated with nearby cameras while others are more exposed. He considers the bill a controversial opener between lawmakers, utilities, and security experts to help the General Assembly identify cost-effective defenses that wouldn't drive up consumer prices. His call for increased surveillance comes as questions linger about the Moore County shootings. The FBI is still seeking information and no arrests have been made. Federal regulators in December ordered a review of physical security standards across the nation's vast electricity transmission network following the attacks in North Carolina. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, which oversees the nation's bulk power system, has until early April to submit a report and recommend possible improvements. Next news. Kona Purdy never wanted to live anywhere but Hawaii. As a native Hawaiian, he wanted his children to grow up like he did, rooted in their culture and nourished by the mountains and ocean. But raising a family in Hawaii meant squeezing 9 people into a 4-bedroom house, rented with extended family in Waipahu, a Honolulu suburb. It felt cramped, but the Purdys accepted that this was the price to survive in their homeland. In quotes, We stuffed ourselves into one room, Purdy said of his four-member family's living arrangements. Their share of the monthly rent was $2,300. When rent increased, the Purdys realized that they could no longer afford to live in Hawaii. In quotes, "I was so busy working, trying to make ends meet," he said. "We never took our kids out to the beach. We didn't go hiking." It's increasingly common for Hawaii residents to be priced out of the Aloha state, where the median price for a single-family home topped $900,000 during the pandemic. On Oahu, the most populous island where Honolulu is, the median price is more than $1 million. Many residents work in low-wage service jobs, and the financial strain is especially significant for Hawaii's indigenous people. A state analysis published last year showed that a single person working 40 hours a week would need to earn $18 an hour to pay for housing and other necessities in Hawaii, but the state minimum wage is currently $12 an hour. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV. Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello, and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. Here's a continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. One of Sarah Huckabee Sanders' first acts as Arkansas governor was to ban most state agencies from using the gender-neutral term Latinx, tapping into a debate that's divided Hispanics along generational lines. Sanders called the word culturally insensitive in an order that's prompted complaints from some critics who view it as yet another attack by Republicans on the LGBTQ community. Yet her move may have limited impact, given that the word does not appear to be widely used in Arkansas government. It was among several orders the 40-year-old former White House press secretary signed within hours of taking office that were cheered by conservatives, including restrictions on teaching critical race theory in public schools and banning TikTok on state devices. The Latinx prohibition gives agencies 60 days to revise written materials to comply. In quotes, "One of the things as governor that I will not permit is the government using culturally insensitive words," Sanders said as she signed the order. Sanders' order adds to the debate over a word that's found little widespread support among Latinos and even prompted backlash from some Democrats. It comes as Republicans have sought to rally around culture war issues. They are also seeking to make inroads with Latino voters, but fell short of the major shifts some in the party were hoping for in last year's elections. Next news. Democratic lawmakers in a handful of states are trying to send a message 2 years after the violent attack on the U.S. Capitol. Those who engage in an attempted overthrow of the government shouldn't be allowed to run it. New York, Connecticut, and Virginia are among states where proposed legislation would prohibit anyone convicted of participating in an insurrection from holding public office or a position of public trust, such as becoming a police officer. While the bills vary in scope, their aim is similar. In quotes, if you've tried to take down our government through violent means, in no way should you be part of it, end quotes, said New York State Senator Brad Hoylman. He is sponsoring a bill that would bar people convicted of engaging in an insurrection or rebellion against the United States from holding civil office, meaning they would not be able to serve as a judge or member of the legislature. Harlan Siegel said he introduced the bill this year because he saw more people who were involved in the riot in Washington on January 6, 2021, running for office last year. He described the assault on the Capitol as a real attack on the foundation of our free and fair democracy and the values which enable that to persist. Next news. The mother of a Walmart employee who was shot and wounded by a former coworker inside a Walmart store in Indiana says the gunman had repeatedly threatened to kill her daughter. Jenny Couch told WFIE TV that her daughter, 28-year-old Amber Cook, was targeted by Ronald Ray Mosley II because he was in love with her boyfriend. When the boyfriend told Mosley that he wasn't interested in him romantically, Mosley became angry with Cook and threatened to kill her, she said. In quotes, he kept sending my daughter messages, anonymous, everything. He kept calling her, telling her that he was going to kill her, that he watched her walk her dog, end quotes. Couch told the Evansville station Friday. According to the Evansville Police Department, 25-year-old Mosley walked into a store break room where employees were meeting Thursday night and shot Cook in the face with a 9mm handgun. Another employee escaped the room and called 911. Law enforcement officers responded within minutes and fatally shot Mosley. There were about 40 employees and 40 shoppers in the store at the time, but no one else was injured. On Friday, Evansville Police Chief Billy Bolin praised as a hero a female employee who came to the victim's aid after Mosley left the break room in a pursuit of a male employee who had fled. Bolin said she called 911, moved the victim to another room, locked the door, and turned out the lights before Mosley returned looking for the wounded woman. Next news. After the relative quiet of the pandemic, New York City has become roaring back. Just listen. Jackhammers, honking cars and trucks, rumbling subway trains, sirens shouting. Over the years, there have been numerous efforts to quiet the cacophony. One of the latest, traffic cameras equipped with sound meters capable of identifying souped-up cars and motorbikes emitting an illegal amount of street noise. At least 71 drivers have gotten tickets so far for violating noise rules during a year-long pilot program of the system. The city's Department of Environmental Protection now has plans to expand the use of the roadside sound meters. In quotes, vehicles with illegally modified mufflers and tailpipes that emit extremely loud noise have been a growing problem in recent years, said City Council member Eric Botcher, who heralded the arrival of the radars to his district to help reduce obnoxious noise. New York City already has one of the most extensive noise ordinances in the country, setting allowable levels for a host of noisemakers such as jackhammers and vehicles. A state law known as the Stop Loud and Excessive Exhaust Pollution Act, or the SLEEP Act, that went into effect last spring, raised fines for illegal modifications of mufflers and exhaust systems. This has been the daily global news update of Millennium News TV 24/7. Thank you so much for watching. Please log in to get the latest news on all of our social networking sites. That means Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. On TikTok, we are Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers, now on both network broadcasting, Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV. Also, all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment, our latest news, views, and editorials, our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Please stay with Millennium News 24/7. Thank you, and God bless.